Okay, fifth grade, we are going to look at, go to our lessons. We're going to look at Thursday. It is Thursday, October 1st, and we're going to look at greatest common factors. So yesterday we discussed prime and composite numbers and just a fraction overview. So one of the things we want to talk about to get us ready for our next lesson for next week is we want to discuss some things about fractions first before we move on. So one of the things we're going to discuss are greatest common factors. So I know yesterday you had a lot of notes, and yesterday was more of like a notes day and listening to Miss Harrison about what prime and composite number and fractions, just overview of fractions. Today we're going to look at what greatest common factors are. We're going to give some examples, and then tomorrow you're going to actually practice finding prime and composite, finding greatest common factors. Okay, so I know it's a little bit note heavy, but I want to make sure you have all the information you need. So we're going to look at the notes for today. So today we're going to look at greatest common factor. So you'll probably hear me say GCF. It's just an acronym. It's short for greatest common factor. So it is the greatest whole number that is a factor of each of the given numbers. So we're going to do one as an example. I was going to start writing the notes like I normally do, like pre-write them, but I really want to show you this process. So we're going to look at the given numbers, which are 12 and 24. So I want to find the greatest common factors of 12 and 24. Well, yesterday we found out that factors are numbers that you multiply in order to get a product. So my products here are 12 and 24. So I want to know what are the factors that they have in common, and then I'm going to find the greatest one. So we're going to start with 12. So with 12, anytime I'm looking for factors, you always want to start with 1 and then work your way up. And I'll show you why. So we want to find all of the factors or factors that are going to multiply to make 12. So I'm going to start with 1. So 1 times what other factor equals 12? That is 12. Then I'm going to go to 2. 2 times what factor is going to give me 6? The product of 6. The product of 12. The factor is 6 because 2 times 6 is 12. Then I'm going to go to 3. 3 times what other factor is going to give me a product of 12? That is 4. So this is why I keep telling you guys it's so important to know your facts, your math facts. You're going to be using these for almost everything that we're doing with math. It's such a huge foundation, and if we don't know these, we're going to struggle because I don't want you to struggle because you don't know your facts. I want you to make sure that you know those. So please, please, please work on those math facts. And then if I look at 4, 4 times 3 is 12. Now, one thing about multiplication, if I do 3 times 4 and 4 times 3, it's still going to give me the same product. So I already use those factors, so I don't have to use them anymore. So these are all of my factors. So my factors of 12 are 1, and then I like to put them in order from least to greatest. It just makes it easier for me. 1, and then I have 2, I have 3, I have 4, 6, and 12. So these are all the factors, right? And all I did was put them in order from least to greatest. It makes it easier to find the greatest common factor. That's what we're looking for. So if I put them in order from least to greatest, it's going to help with that process. So these are all my factors that I multiply to get the product of 12. So now I'm going to look at 24. So what are all the factors that I can multiply to give me a product of 24? So again, I'm going to start with 1. 1 times 24 equals 24. I'm going to start with 2. 2 times what number gives me the product? 24, that is 12. 3 times 8 gives me 24. And then 4 times 6 gives me 24. Now if I do 5 5 times a number doesn't give me 24. And then when I go to 6, I'm right back where I started, okay? So now these are all my numbers, all my factors that I can multiply to give me 24. So I'm going to put these factors in order from least to greatest. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, I have 6, 8, 12, and 24. Okay, so these are all of my factors. So remember, we're looking for the greatest common factor. I'm trying to ignore this phone call. Okay, sorry about that. So I'm going to look at the factors that I have in common. So which ones do I have in common? Well, 12 and 24 share 1. They share 2. They share 3. They share 4. They share 6. And they share 12. So those are the factors that they have in common. Now, with this one, remember, we're looking for the greatest common factor. So of these factors, which one is the greatest? The greatest common factor of 12 and 24 equals 12. Okay, because this is the greatest number that they share. Okay, so that is how you find the greatest common factor.